Looking for a move-in ready Porter Ranch home with space, charm, and future potential? In this Porter Ranch home tour, we're showcasing a beautifully maintained 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, single-story home for sale in Porter Ranch. Sitting on a corner lot with 1,378 square feet of living space, this Porter Ranch home features a step-down living room with a fireplace, freshly painted interior, and a kitchen with a breakfast bar, just to name a few. With possible ADU opportunities, it's a smart investment for both living and long-term growth. Stay tuned till the end of this video, and we're going to tell you why Porter Ranch continues to be one of the most popular places people are moving to in LA County. Let's get this home tour started. Today we're standing in front of our newest listing in Porter Ranch, California at 18872 Dylan Street. This home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,378 square feet of living space on a 7,694 square foot lot, and the home was built in 1966. So I really want to point that out because in Old Porter Ranch, this is the oldest builder. Now I would argue with you that they're probably one of the best builders when it comes to quality and craftsmanship, that this is the builder called Republic. So a lot of times people associate Porter Ranch with all of the gated communities, but before the gated communities, and I grew up here in Porter Ranch, that was all just mountains, really. So this is what existed beforehand, and this was the first tract, and this was called a Republic home. Now these guys actually started just south of Rinaldi Street, right, and kind of just east of Reseda Boulevard. That's where the model homes were. And the reason why I wanted to kind of point that out to you is because something really cool. Now on the cul-de-sac, which was actually Index Street, where they actually had the model homes, one of those homes was actually recently used years ago in a movie, Apollo 13, with Tom Hanks, to kind of give it that 1960s vibe. And so again, this home built in 1966, you have about 3 other builders in this tract of homes, and they kind of came after the Republic home. So there's kind of a little bit of a short history and narrative of the home builders in this neighborhood. So we're in Porter Ranch, California. You're at about 27 miles north of downtown Los Angeles. We're located off the 118 freeway, and you would get off at the Reseda exit. We're about a block east of Wilbur Avenue and about 2 blocks north of Rinaldi Street here in Porter Ranch. Looking at the front of the home, this is a corner lot, right? So you don't have a neighbor on that east side of the house. So not a lot of landscaping that you would have to worry about here. Low maintenance landscaping, but still a lot of curb appeal and some color as well. And as you walk towards the double door entry, you're gonna have this lovely brick entryway, which is in fantastic shape. And this is what greets you as you come up to this home. Welcome inside. So again, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,378 square feet of living space, 7,694 square foot lot, built in 1966. So as you come into this home, right, you're gonna have your step-down living room with your hardwood flooring. You see your plantation shutters. You're gonna have your dual pane windows throughout this home. And you're gonna see the Travertine right here also against the fireplace. This is a gas fireplace right here. So this is your step-down living room. Most people, where this is staged right now, this is where everybody puts their big screen TV. So this is where you're going to be gathering with friends and family, right? And watching the big game, of course. This crown molding really gives this home a lot of elegance, in my opinion. So this is your step-down living room. Again, it's the first room that you see when you walk into this home through your double doors. All right, so let's continue moving forward. So as we leave the step-down living room, we're gonna go over to our left. So again here, you're gonna see the Travertine flooring at the entryway, and it's gonna continue on through your formal dining area as well as your kitchen. So let's start with the formal dining area right here. So the formal dining area, you can put in a pretty good large size table if you would like, but I really do appreciate the size and the shape of this table because, you know, in a space like this, you don't really need, and most people don't utilize a large dining table. So this is more practical for everyday living, right? Maybe you don't want to have every meal or bite to eat at the breakfast bar in the kitchen. And so this is a great alternative. So you can use this as your formal dining area. It seats 6 people, but at the same time, right, you could also have something at the breakfast counter. So it kind of serves multiple needs. Now, the kitchen itself, these are quartz countertops right here, and the breakfast bar that we just discussed right there. So perfect, you could put a couple of stools or chairs right there at the breakfast counter and being able to watch the kitchen prep or kind of have a glass of wine with family and friends. Now, this kitchen here, right, you are gonna have a 5-burner gas cooktop over there. And then over to your right, I want you to take a look at this large window. So this large window allows you to see out into the backyard, and there's actually a service counter outside of that. Now, of course, you can always put down the blinds if you want to keep the light out and whatnot, but if you want to see what's going on in your backyard, this is a great way to do it and allow that natural light to come pouring in. So speaking of the kitchen, let's talk about color schemes right here. So if you take a look at it, this is quartz right here, not granite. So it has a mixture of colors, right? You got this light brown right here. You got some speckles of darker brown and gray. And that's perfect because look at this. What do you know? A little bit of gray offset with the white. You have your white on your glass tile backsplash right here. And then of course that has brown intertwined with it as well. And then it goes perfectly because again, look at the color of your travertine flooring. And then on the other side, on the left side of the kitchen, facing on the north side of the house is where you will have your refrigerator and your double oven. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. As always, hope you're enjoying this home tour so far. If you're a buyer here in Southern California and the greater Los Angeles area, well, we're always here to help. And so one of the things that we found over the course of doing this for over 20 years is a lot of our buyers come to us a lot of times a year or 2 years in advance. They're not ready at the current time. Maybe they want to improve their finances, improve their credit, but they just want to get an idea of what they have to do to buy in 1 or 2 years time. So if that's you, definitely reach out to us and we can craft a plan that's especially tailored to you and what your needs are. So that way, when you're actually ready, you're going to be able to expedite things tremendously. And it kind of gives you a lot of knowledge and information because typically what happens with a lot of our buyers when they start out that early, they end up a lot of times finding a place sooner than when they originally planned to. And so you want to be able to be in position where you're prepared, you have all your ducks in a row, and this way you have a better chance of not only getting your offer accepted, but knowing what to expect once you get your offer accepted. So I think that's really key right now. So if you have any questions right now, again, maybe you're not 100% ready to buy right now, but if you are, even if you are ready to buy, reach out to us also. And even if you're working with another real estate agent, feel free to reach out. Always glad to just answer any real estate questions you might have. All right, let's keep this home tour going. So right off the kitchen, you're going to have your laundry room where you're going to have your washer and dryer hookups. This is critical. A lot of buyers don't want to have their laundry hookups here in the garage. And especially when you have a detached garage, nobody wants to walk all the way to the garage if it's windy or it's inclement weather, right? So the fact that you have those here in the home is always a huge plus. All right, now let's kind of walk back through the kitchen, the dining room, towards the front entry. And what you're going to see now is the hallway. So the hallway is going to have a continuation of the flooring that we saw in the living room. So you're going to see this hardwood flooring inside here. And then this is where all 3 of your bedrooms and bathrooms are going to be. Remember, you have 2 bathrooms in this floor plan. So the first bedroom over here to your right, we have it set up and staged as an office. If you're wondering about schools, this neighborhood falls into the boundaries of some of the best schools in Los Angeles Unified School District. starting with the elementary school, which is Castle Bay Elementary, constantly rated either a 9 or a 10 by greatschools.org. And that school is located approximately about a mile away from this home. And then you have your middle school, which is Robert Frost Middle School. That actually is located in Granada Hills. That's another top-notch school, and that will be your middle school. And for high school, this one falls into the boundaries right now for Granada Hills Charter High School. So constantly rated as one of the best high schools in the state of California. And so you will fall into the boundaries for that high school. All right, so this is the hallway bathroom right here. You have a shower and tub, right? And you also have access to the exterior of the home with this bathroom. Now we're heading over to our primary bedroom. So the primary bedroom, right, is gonna have not only this wood flooring, but you're going to have, right, again, the crown molding that we continue to see throughout many parts of this home. A nice, lovely view of the outside of the backyard. And then you're gonna have your attached bathroom also. Walking into the attached primary bathroom, you have tile flooring, you have tile on your vanity, right? And check out the light fixture above. Now this is a type of light fixture that really gives a lot of character, where you're able to combine something that's modern, but also kind of has that retro feel to it as well. Now this bathroom doesn't have a tub like the hallway bathroom, but it does have the really nicely tiled shower enclosure. And that is your primary bedroom and bathroom. So we're at the front of the house, and this is the front of the driveway. So I wanted to kind of walk along with you right here and showcase this kind of space to you. And that's because a lot of the homes here north of Rinaldi in Porter Ranch, a majority of them don't have RV access, especially from this builder. So if you needed a place to park your RV, your boat, or other toys, this would be a great place to be able to do so. So remember when we were talking about earlier in this video that you have ADU potential. So of course you have your detached garage right here, but at the same time, you know what's great is maybe you want to convert this into an ADU. You have the parking and you have the ability to be able to do so. And look, you already have a fence here separating the main house from the detached garage. So it's kind of set up perfectly, especially as this is a corner lot. Now to build an ADU, or I should say to convert into an ADU, I would say you're probably looking at about $80,000. If you expand on it, this is probably about 450, 500 square feet of space. But if you wanted to kind of expand upon it, you know, you'd probably be looking at about 100K if you wanted to make it at about 600 to 700 square feet of living space. All right, let's explore the backyard itself. So come on over here. We're gonna come on into this part. Got a newer condenser unit for your HVAC system, right? And then over here you have this nice grassy area right here in your backyard, and this amazing patio section. So look at this, you got this beautiful covered patio, right? You know, it does get warm here in the San Fernando Valley, so being able to enjoy kind of those cool and warm summer evenings here under this covered patio is absolutely perfect. Here is the aforementioned service counter, and I wanted to show you something that's totally different that I haven't seen in any other house here, especially not only in the valley, but in Porter Ranch. And I want you to take a look at this space and see if you can figure out how you would use it. And let me tell you how this homeowner was using it, right? So you look, especially here in the San Fernando Valley, there are a lot of coyotes, right? And so if you wanted to be able to have your animal, your dog or your cat, be able to kind of be able to enjoy the outside, but at the same time feel protected, well, guess what? In this area, nothing can get in, right? There's not going to be a large animal that's going to be able to get into this space, so your pet's going to be protected. So I can tell you a lot because my Schnauzer One of them, she actually just likes to sit on the grass in the backyard and sunbathe, but I always have to be out there watching her in order for her to be able to do that. Here, you can let your pet, and you know, they're not going to be able to leave that space, so it's kind of perfect and it keeps your pets protected. So we're at the southern part of the property. We're walking towards the back of the house, just giving you another vantage point of what it looks like when you're looking at the exterior of the house and this covered patio that we were discussing about before. So you have your rain gutters, right? You always want your rain gutters right there to protect your eaves and your fascia. And you can see again all these newer windows here in this home. And this home really has so much to offer. Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group. Hope you enjoyed this home tour. All right, so as I talked about in the beginning of this video, that Porter Ranch is probably one of the most popular places that we find these days for people to move to. Now, part of that is the variety of different price points, and a lot of times you'll find it to be a lot less expensive than more expensive areas such as the south side of the valley, the west side, Pasadena, Glendale, just to name a few. So your dollar definitely gets stretched a lot farther out here. And then I would argue that some of the best schools here in the entire LAUSD, right, they're actually here in Porter Ranch in 91326, whether it be Castle Bay Lane Elementary, whether it be Beckford, right, just to name a few, or Darby Elementary, and of course you got the award-winning Granada Hills Charter High School. So I think that's one of the reasons why you see so many people move out here. And then, you know, 91326 is really a quite diverse zip code when it comes to price point, because you have some lower price condos, and then you have luxury condos and townhomes, and then you have older homes that were built in the 50s and 60s, and then you also have newer construction that actually sells for over $3 million. And you have everything in between. And so there's really something for everybody here. Maybe you want new construction? Fantastic. 91326 is going to be a great zip code for you. Want a larger lot? That's available also. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Now, one of the reasons I personally like Porter Ranch is that there's so many great things going on here. Of course, you have some amazing hiking trails, including the Palisades Trail, which is about 3 miles long, so to speak. And then also you have great shopping, right? You have the Vineyard Shopping Center. You have fine dining such as Lure Fish House, Gus's Barbecue, and La Popular, just to name a few. Of course, you have the AMC movie theater and the Whole Foods. And right across from that is your farmer's market. That's every Sunday morning starting at 9 a.m. A wonderful place for you to be able to pick up all your produce, right? Your fruits, vegetables, other items for the week. And they also have several different types of crafts there. And one of the most popular new parks here in Los Angeles, right, is the Jane and Burt Bachman Park, which is north of Rinaldi Street off of Mason Avenue, a 50-acre park. All right, guys, again, let me know what you think about this home. Again, if you're looking to buy here in Southern California, definitely reach out to us. We can kind of show you what you need to know, the 5 top things that you need to know if you're buying a home here in Southern California. If you're looking to sell a home, reach out to us too, because this seller took advantage of our complimentary staging program. And so that's something that we cover as part of our marketing cost. Zero cost to you is being able to stage your home. And having your home staged really makes a difference on the digital media side, because if you think about it, if you're looking at homes online, so is everybody else. So according to the National Association of Realtors, 98% of buyers are looking online. I'm trying to figure out who the 2% that are not looking online, but it shows you that your curb appeal begins online. And so it's really critical that your home looks better than everybody else's when it comes to showcasing it online. All right, so we have more questions about that. Feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you on the next home tour.